Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here, finally, after an absence of about 8 to 9 weeks, for which I apologize. On the other hand, just certain things were going on in my life that prevented me from fully engaging in the YouTube milieu and fully interacting with the people that I regularly watch and who regularly watch me and comment on my stuff. And I apologize for that, but sometimes life intervenes, and so you have to deal with the real world. Um, what happened was this whole neuropathic pain thing in my leg, L4, L5, my left leg, increased rapidly, and at the same time, pretty much unnoticed by me because it was so much a part of my life that I just didn't remark on it. I'd always had a huge amount of upper abdominal gastric distress, probably from the time I was a teenager, really. And so an exacerbation of that didn't really make me think too much about it one way or the other. And I was taking a lot of aspirin to control this leg pain, this neuropain, this radicular pain. And so at 1:20 in the morning on Sunday, June 23rd, I got up to take 2 aspirin and drink a big glass of water, and which I did. And then wham! Amazingly intense upper abdominal pain, which then in 5 minutes spread throughout. And then my abdomen became increasingly kind of bloated and rigid, and I knew what was going on. I had an intra-abdominal emergency that required surgery, and so you kind of always want to wait to see if it's going to, because the hallmark of that kind of thing is if the pain goes away or decreases, and it didn't. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So around 4:10, I called the squad, and they came and carted my butt out down to St. Anne's Hospital there in Westerville. St. Anne's, Mount Carmel, St. Anne's. And they CAT scanned me, and sure enough, I had, when I read the final full CAT scan report here about a week ago, and they really saw everything. It's amazing. I mean, they saw everything. They saw the hole in the back wall of the stomach and the whole bit. So they sent me off to the OR, and I got operated on by a wonderful, wonderful surgeon named Dr. Richard Brown, and in Westerville, Ohio. And the man basically saved my life. He said I had the largest hole in a stomach that he'd ever seen in a non-surgical setting. It was about the size of a fist, a little bit bigger than a fist, in the back wall of the stomach. This thing's obviously clearly been leaking and eroding for years. But nonetheless, he sewed it up, and I had the NG tube in for about 4 days, and then I was out there on post-op day 6 on Saturday, the following Saturday. And the good Liz came and got me. God bless Liz. And Thomas was still he was down in North Carolina at the time, so he couldn't come help me. Although he has come up and helped me a couple times since then. In fact, he was up yesterday and got my mail. I hadn't got my mail for 5 or 6 days, and he got my mail for me. So, he's going off to St. Louis with his father-in-law. They tend to go out there for 5 or 6 days every summer to see his father-in-law's family, or drink beer. There's a lot of beer culture out in St. Louis, and his father-in-law worked for Anheuser-Busch, so there's a lot of that going on. But so they're going out there, and during the warnings of heat death here coming up here. So I hope they don't get heat death. So he and Carter came up yesterday. It was good to see Carter again. I hadn't seen Carter for a while. And it's always interesting to see how your descendants are doing. So basically, as far as my surgery is concerned, I'm fine. The incision it gave me a lot of, a certain amount of pain. Obviously, the first week or so, but the only reason I was ever taking the narcotics in the hospital was because of this leg pain. This hernia thing's basically healed. I may talk to you a bit later, but not today, about how I came to make that decision to call the squad. Because for a time that was an option. But those with ears hear. But as I said to my surgeon, well, here I am, 67 years old, living life as a Christian heathen. So there we are. That's pretty much it. I don't have anything more to say. I did finish rewatching all of not Breaking Bad, all of Game of Thrones, and now I'm in the midst of rewatching Breaking Bad. So I'm about halfway through that. So I'm going to work on that a little later tonight. But I apologize for not leaving comments and interacting with y'all for a while. I'll see if I can get back into this. But that's where I've been. So I wanted to say that to y'all. So bye-bye, YouTubers.